So, yeah. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to our, well, technically third class, pero this is just our second session regarding. No, this is even our second, third. No, this is really our second session. Okay, so yeah, second session. Today we'll be talking about server client, and I'll be teaching you how you're able to send messages from client to server and then server to client, and how you would use this for um for your multiplayer. Okay, so um from what I thought before, I mean, tapos na tong host and join. What I thought before was this part where when you go into this, and then if you have another player, just go add that clones manager. Hold on, let me just open the other editor. So in case you guys don't know yung parallel sync, this is how I'm gonna be able to test the no changes no without having to build. So right now, it's opening the other editor, and there we go. Okay, so last time I taught you how to use the host, the join, um, what happens, the movement and stuff, right? So that's what I thought. Now the thing is, how the server and client we're talking here. This is server. This is the one. The server is the one that hosted. They're technically the server, and then this is the client, the one that just joined the server. So right now, um, we haven't code yet on how they're talking to each other. So ngayon, it's automatically handled by um the network rigid body right now. We could also do the network transform, right? So these are automatically handled by the script on how it is moving from the server and then appearing um in the client, right? So here, what's happening? Paint. We have una our server. The server, this is where everything's happening. This is um where everyone is going to connect to. This is where all the changes will happen in the game. And then the client, the client here. Oh, let's make it a square now. The client here gets information from the server. It's getting the information such as what prefab to spawn, what movement is happening, um, what is being spawned, etc., etc., right? So client is getting that data from the server. But the thing is, when the player in the client moves, right? The player in the client moves. It is also happening in the server. So what's happening here? Client, when it moves, it sends back a a data that, hey, I'm moving in this direction, or hey, the velocity of this object is moving in this direction. And server gets updated on that. object. And then if you have multiple clients, so right now, isa lang yung client natin. But if you have other clients here, like this is client 2, and then this is client 3. When the server gets that data, the server sends it also to the other clients so that they are updated with the um, data, the changes from the client. So let's say sabi natin nga like velocity. We changed our velocity to um to 0, 0. So it's going to the right, no? So what's happening here is client sends it to the server sends it to everyone so that everyone is updated with it. So that's what's happening in behind this code here, network rigid body. Now, what if you want to send our own data? Is this meeting recorded? Yes. I'm afraid of using clone manager with an HTTP. Uh, ayaw ba gumana? I think I think it could. I think your worry should be more of uh yung memory mo, the the RAM. Because right now I'm using 3,000. No, 3.5 gigabytes. So that should be your worry. No. Anyway, so yeah. So it's updating. So what if you want to do our own na ganun? So let's do that. So what I want is when what I want is for now I'm gonna send a message to the server from the client to the server. So how do you do that? See, mirror has a special um macro for that. Oh no, a special attribute for that. So this attribute is called command. So it says here naman kung what command does. Call this from client to run this function on the server. So if I do a command, what happens is from the client, I'm gonna send something back to the server. So let's say void. So you're required to put CMD on the start. CMD, and then let's say uh, send message. In this case, we can do also if it's not local player since it's already the server. Let's not send it to the server anymore. No, and then we can do debug.log. Hello world. Okay. So right now I have hello world. What we can do when I press if I press keycode dot uh return or enter, no, I will do cmd send message. So let's test it out. Host join here. So if I press enter on the server, this is the server, right? We have hello world. Uh If I press enter, let's hear this. If I press enter on the client, nope, not happening. Right. Sorry. My bad. Wala dapat to. Here is is local player. Oh wait, do I have code here? Oh, never mind. I have a code here. My bad. So this one will host. This one will join. If I press enter here, lalabas siya dito, no? Yung hello world. If I press, let me clear this. If I press enter on the client, it will send hello world to the server. And you'll notice it did not appear at all on the client mismo because I sent it to the server. All right. So, so that's command. Now, if I want everyone to receive that message, what you want is from the server here, I will send that message back to everyone. So what does it look like? Um, so parang si client, si client nag-send siya ng data to server and then from server, I will send it to everyone. So what does that look like? So if I put here client RPC. So client RPC, remote procedure call, the server uses a RPC to run this function on clients. So with this attribute, so void RPC, so required is required RPC send message debug.log hello world RPC RPC. I'll put that here under the command RPC send message. So let's do that again. Let's um let's host, then let's join and see what happens. And on the client, so this is the client. If I press enter, you'll see I have hello world and hello world RPC. Hello world, hello world RPC. But you'll see here in the client, this is the client console. I only have hello world RPC. Same thing if I press enter here. So if I clear this one. If I press enter on the client, I will only receive hello world RPC. But in here, it's hello world and hello world RPC. So what's happening here? Si client, when it sent a message to the server, sa server, ito yung lumabas, hello world. And then on the server itself, sabi niya RPC send message. This this code will run on everyone's on all the client. Not just from the client who sent the message, but from the client from all to all the clients. So if you want to send maybe a specific string instead of hello world, we can have parameters still. String um message to send. And then we can also put this here. String message. So it doesn't have to be the same though. What I'll do here though, I'll put it here, the RPC, and then the debug.log, I'll put in the message. In this case, let's say hi. So if I host this and I join here, if I press enter, hi appears on both. Okay, so that's what's happening. I'm sending to the server and then to all the clients. So this is a this is an important thing when trying to do command and client RPC. The thing is, when you want things to happen, like events to happen, you want it to happen in the server. What kind of events are these? Let's say like when the player crosses the a collider and then an event happens. You want that to happen in the server. Then from the server, it will tell everyone that this happened. You don't want it to happen on the client muna and then back to the server. Why? One thing is, uh, let's say, yeah, well, sample here. Let's say crossed uh, play cutscene. No? If I played the cutscene on the client and then sent to the server that, hey, play this cutscene, what happens is on the server, it's going to send it to everyone, including where the client, including the client who um played it. You're going to have like multiple things happening. So you have to try to keep track on things. Try to just make things work on the server and then send it back to the client. Okay? So that is not always the case naman. Let's say if you want just to change the UI, no? If you want to just change the UI, maybe better na it will happen just on the client. And then on the server, make find a way so that the client does not receive that. So parang you could have maybe a network. What's this? Network, network. What am I looking at? All of that. Network connection. What is network connection? Nope, not network connection. Network connection to server. Paano nga ba to? Wait lang ah. Local connection ID. So this is the connection ID of this ano. And then you want to send it here so that you can keep track when you send it to the server and then make sure that the on the client it's not him. So there's those checks pa. No. But that's for you to ano to play around. So you have to learn yung mga ganito, network connection to server. So how do we learn about that? Again, if you go to mirror network API, you can kind of find some stuff here on what you can use. Like network connection to server. Maybe you wanna get uh you know public attributes, static static is that here static public uh ayun. So mga ganun. There's also another way then which is getting the connection ID here. Diba? We are network behavior. So let's go to network behavior. Network behavior. and then we can find other functions that we could use. Connection to server. Yun pala yun. Sorry, not this one. Connection to server, and then we can get uh, identity or wala bang ID dito? ID. There's no ID. Do you have an ID here? ID, net ID. Hmm, net identity, net identity ID. Nah. Well, more of like ano, you're gonna have to research about that. Basta yun, mostly all the things that will happen should happen in the server. You only want to make things happen on the client if UI related, such as maybe pag-decrease ng HP, like um, it will like slowly decrease and stuff. Sure, you can do it in the client, right? Another thing rin, you don't want to send this command and client on an update. Why? Imagine we're working with ano, we're working with the internet, no, network, whatever. If I sent continuously to the server and then server sends every all the clients continuously, you have a bandwidth problem. There you only have a limit lang of a few. But you have a limit. You have a limit on sending amount of things. If you send a lot of things, everything's gonna slow down. That's where lag will occur a lot. No, kasi server has to update. Server has to know what happened, and then server updates everyone on what happened. Imagine mo on every frame gagawa yun. Kawawa. Kawawa si server. Okay? Inisip ko, pwede rin siyang related to, let's say, um, Minecraft, no? Kaya you can't really, sorry, I went to Minecraft, pero yun ang naisip ko. On Minecraft, remember how when you put if you use too much TNT, server lags a bit, and then minsan hindi siya nag-update, minsan after a while, doon na lang mangyari. Kasi the the client is trying to send so many things to the server that hey, all these blocks are gone, and then server has to send to all the clients that all these blocks are gone, and that's why uh sometimes it takes a while until things uh are correct na. Okay, so questions about command and client RPC. So you don't really have to do client RPC functions naman with command. Each time you use command. Depende. If you only want to update the server, then sure, you don't need the RPC. So why would you just want to update a server? Maybe you want to update the server that uh, the amount of deaths or kills or just data that all the clients don't really need to keep track of. Pwede rin ganun, right? If you think of does everyone play Peak? Does everyone know Peak? Is there anyone who doesn't know Peak? It's okay. So I'll try to relate that to Peak. Now imagine the backpack. Let me just remove all of these. Imagine the backpack. The backpack has a list of items: popsicle, uh, lollipop, uh, energy drink, uh, cook- cookies, and whatnot. Mga ganun. The thing is, if I take out or if I add something, if I add an object to the, let's say you got a what's on a sports drink. Let's say you got a sports drink and you added it into your backpack. So what happens here is the server gets updated that the the backpack state has changed, meaning there's something has been added or removed. Server gets that data. Server sends that to all. No, technically server can just keep it. Okay, okay lang na server can keep it. Why? When the player, when another client tries to access a backpack. Sorry, this data pala. This data is already now in here, no, in the server. If client 2 tries to access the backpack, he can check whatever he sends it to the server. Server says, okay, this is ito yung laman ng backpack. Yan yung babalik niya kay, or yan yung isesend niya na data to the client. Now this is the things inside the backpack. So that means server, just because the server got this data doesn't mean that he's immediately sends it. Okay? It saves a bit of bandwidth so that you don't have, kasi si speak pa lang you have to, it tries to keep track of the placements of the player, the the weather, the other moving items or whatever, you know. It tries to keep track of that. And kawawa naman si server if he has to keep updating it in itong list. So it's okay. Oh, it's okay for server to just have this and not send it right away. So what clients can do is instead asks the server what is inside the backpack, and then the server returns a list. All right. So that's like one idea then. Another thing rin is maybe let's go FPS naman. So mga naglalaro ng Valorant or Battlefield or anything else. That's why sometimes the it doesn't look right. I mean, you say na you shot something, no? You say na you shot something for all the clients, all the other people, parang they say na you haven't shot yet. Why? Because from your client, from you send to the server that I will shoot. Then the server is the one that handles it. He handles na okay, the client shot, ito yung ito yung location, rotation, it's facing there, and then he would spawn the bullet, and now it will go to everyone. For client though, client thinks he already shot the bullet, but server is the one that handles it. that, oh, client has shot the bullet. Everyone here, here's an update. He shot the bullet. That's why if you have a slower internet, you say na you've already shot the bullet, but for everyone else, hindi pa. Because it is still on the way. It's still on the way to the server. So if you're 200 milliseconds or 200 ms yung ping mo, it is taking zero point 0.2 seconds to go to the server. And then depending on the ping of the client, that is how they retrieve that data. Okay? Does that make sense? Or would you want another example on how server client stuff works? I'm gonna be showing you another example here naman. Any questions or clarification? None. File execution server. Server may kasalanan. Depende. Why? Because um server may kasalanan. Yeah, okay, okay. Yeah, depende. Depende. Why? Kasi that's why let's go back to Minecraft. That's why if you've tried to rent a server, no, they ask if you want how many RAM do you want, what kind of processor you want, and that's why your price will be this range because it takes time for the server to assess what happened. So let's say you spawn the bullet. Server has to use its RAM, use its memory to spawn that bullet. So if you have a limited amount of memory, it has to make space for it, and then there's gonna be a bit of lag, and then wala, affected na lahat. Just because you have a fast internet doesn't mean your connection to the server or the server will be giving you 0 milliseconds of or I mean 0 milliseconds of ping, right? So there are instances na ganun. That's why kahit sa ano, other online online games, they say that servers on maintenance or sometimes something happened or your connection to the server is getting disconnected or um the server is lagging because the server itself something's happening to it. Okay, something's happening to it. Either maybe um the memory is overloaded. Um, maybe the internet of the server itself is also malfunctioning. So it has those ano, has those things. Okay, so yeah, you could use that. Depende. If everyone is just kung gumagana man sa lahat, tas yung sa'yo problema lang, it may be your fault. But if everyone is having the same problem, sure, you can use that excuse. Okay? Any more questions or clarification? None? Okay. So yeah, I want you everyone to look at this. Another example. This time I'm gonna use uh the mirrors network instead of rigid body. Let's do network transform. And then let's bring back some code here. But instead of the time dot delta time, I wanted to move. Uh, hold on. Here, if input get key down, key code D, or input get key down A. So left or right lang. Let's do this. So if I press A or D, the transform will move based on this. We can multiply this by maybe 5. Let's remove this first. You can also remove this first. Okay, so left and right lang. So what does it look like? Uh, change natin. Maybe not move. Maybe not get access. Get access raw. Or you know what? AAD. This one. This one na lang. If I press A, move mo that X is -1. Press D, +1. So if I host, okay, so this is what's happening now. It is jumping on my screen. Let's maximize this. Okay, so that's just jumping. For the client though, what would it look like? Does anyone notice a difference? So right now I'm moving on the, oops, nawala yung ano. Nawala yung isang box ko. Right now in the client, I'm moving here. This client, it's snapping. Does anyone notice something different for the other client? Anyone? What is different? Try ko gawin sa ano, sa client na mismo. So this is the client, this is the server on my left. Right now I'm gonna moving on the right. So what is different? I'm not sure kung matanyag dito sa stream natin na ilang FPS, 60 FPS. Okay. So parang lower frame rate yung isa. Okay. In my code, I only said that movement is either -1, 0, or 1. And then if I press it, the transform will just add. So on wherever we doing, let's say here the client, this is right because I'm literally just adding a transform, a 5 units. I'm moving by 5 units, but not. It's not here in my code. Na it should smooth out. It's literally just this the transform the position plus equals. However, on our client or whoever is the one I'm not controlling, it is a bit smooth, no? Parang may lerp siya na ewan because we are just working with the network transform. We are just working with mirror. Uh, ayun, itong interpolate, no? If you want to, let's say, follow this without having to to use, let's say, the network transform, right? What I can do here is uh, this transform position plus equals movement x. I can send a message. My message will be a vector 3 um, movement. Right. I can send to the server just the movement. This the transform dot position plus equals movement. So let's try that out. CMD send message. Uh, well, we could have like changed this without CMD move, no. But anyway, send message movement times 5. Okay. Right now, I'm only sending it to the server. So what will happen to the server and client? So this host, this is join. So on the server, tama lang. I am still doing the right the right thing where it is teleporting. But you'll notice on my client, nothing is happening. Wala nangyayari. Why? Because it's only happening on the server. Same thing. I'm on the right side now. I will move I will try to move the block on the right side on the client. Right now, it's only the block on the server that's moving and not on the client. Okay. So what do we do? We can send to all the client on what just happened. So we like client RPC, void RPC, send um move position. Vector 3, movement, and then we can use this one. And instead, we'll run RPC move position. Save that. Maximize. I'm joining. So now, if I move on the server, it is now updated for the client. If I move on the client, the server is also getting updated. So if you have more than one client, this would all still update correctly. Okay? So that is command and client RPC. So it doesn't have to be this simple. It can even be more complex depending on what you want to happen on the server. Okay. Uh, Maybe what we can do Let me check something. Um, connection to server identity. Pwede. Let's try this. Network identity. Uh, if oops, I'm just testing something on network identity, and then one more here also. If identity is equal to connection to server dot identity or not equal to what am I testing here? I want to test where I don't have to receive this this thing anymore. Identity so that the movement will just happen uh in my own in my own. I don't have to go through the what you call this. I don't have to go through the server pa. So let me just try this out first. Um, move is equal to move net connection to server that identity move. I don't even know if this is a great idea. Host join. Yeah, it's not a great idea. Don't do that. It wasn't able to properly send the identity, and then it probably messed up somewhere here where this is null. Yeah, don't do this. There's a specific see mirror mismo has a has certain functions that you can also use besides client RPC. If you go to mirror, uh, go to docs, you should be able to see where are you at? Timestamp, sync direction. Wait lang. It's somewhere here. Sync direction. Nope. Deprecation. Integration? No, not integration. Not migration. Uh-huh. Oh man, I remember reading it somewhere. Command or client RPC. Oh yeah, remote actions. Yeah, this is almost like ito, but um, input goes to the server and then server goes to the client. Yeah, client RPC. Yeah, you can do some target RPC calls if you want a specific specific clients only and not to everyone. Ito excluding owner. Yeah. This one. Excluding owner. Client RPC include owner false. Let's try that. Client RPC include owner false. Uh, here. So if we made that false, supposedly hindi gagalaw si client. Okay, yeah, tama. Client is not moving. Bu- But then again, also also the also the server is not moving. So why would you want to do that again? You're trying to you can save bandwidth. So instead of having to do this part on you're like sending to the server and then back to you, we could just do it also for your own. So like a vector three um vector is equal to this one. You would kind of have like a copy paste code. Vector and then vector. But this is just optimization. You don't really have to do this naman. But if you want to try to be as optimized as you can, it's a good idea. Ayan. So it's working correctly. But the thing is, we skip the part where we are up, we are sending it to the server and then just getting it back because we have include owner equals false. Okay. So it's good then to to read through yung documentations. Like if you want to try to understand how things work. Like authority we can talk about this in the future, but this is more about um uh, trying to do things from client to client, which is not really parang you're gonna bypass the authority for that to happen. Why you don't want that to happen? If a player, if a client is cheating, like let's say they in their own client they're adding all these cheats like adding more infinite amount of something or spawning a lot of something. You don't want that to happen to other clients. You only want it to happen on their stuff, but it's not affecting the server. So that's why you need to have some authority. But we'll talk about it later on. Okay, questions, clarification. Does that make sense for how server client works? No questions. Okay. Um, I can do one more if you guys want. It's a like creating a chat, no, a simple chat, but there's gonna be some things there where it may not make sense to you. Pa, you guys want to do that? We're still gonna be using command and client RPC because that's how things work. When client sends something to the server, everyone should be updated to that message unless it is a message to a certain person now. So, you guys want to talk? You guys want to try that? It's going to be maybe 5 minutes or 10 minutes to code that. If not, you know what? It's fine. Sige, gawin natin yan. So, uh, actually, might be 20 minutes. Depende on what your answer to this will be. So on the prefab, why should it be in a prefab of the player? Because you're gonna have to own the UI. It it kind of doesn't make sense rin kasi parang everyone in this whoever is in that scene should all have that UI for the messaging, the message box, whatever. But um you have to own it. You have to own that UI. That's why you need the network identity. um no, yeah, you just need the network identity. Okay, so from here I'm gonna create a canvas. Let's also create. I think we also have to add in the event system here. So in the canvas, let's go create our chat canvas. Let's go create a child. This will be our vertical layout. Vertical layout. Okay, question. Does everyone, or is there anyone here who doesn't know how anchors work? Anchor? Does everyone know this? Anchoring things to the canvas. Why am I asking you this? Um, there have been some capstones where they don't anchor stuff. Uh, it's okay, you know. I don't mind, but you gotta learn about it, no. So why is anchoring? Is this the constant pixel size? Not just that. Not just that. So I'm just gonna show it to you. So it's gonna be 20 minutes again. It's okay. So let's say I have an image here. Do I want it here? Okay. Let's say I have an image here. This right now it's centered. Let's say I wanted sana for it to be on the left side of the screen. So okay lang sana kung ganun, no? The thing is, if your aspect ratio changes, look what happens to our image. Oriented somewhat, right? Look what happens if let's say maybe it was a weird pixel ratio, whatever. No, wala na yung image. Anchoring is here so that it knows where it should be literally anchored onto the screen. So if I say I'm gonna anchor it on the left side of the screen. So what did I do? I did Alt and Shift to make it um move agad. So it says here up here. Alt Shift. Set pivot, set position. Just to just to make things easier for me. If I do this, notice that no matter what size or ratio of my aspect ratio is, it will always be on the left side. If I did upper right, so no matter how tall or large, how no matter the height of the aspect ratio is, it will always be here. Okay, so that's anchoring, very important. Of course, you also have this one, the constant pixel size. You can do the scale with screen size. It looks like nothing happened, but if you had a 4K resolution, if you didn't set this right, look what happens if I do the 4K. You're now um you now have players for ants, right? Maliit siya. That's why you need to also set the scale with screen size. So you have to set the reference resolution, maybe 1920 by 1080. the usual um 720p. Is it 720 or 1080p? Anyway, ayun. So now it is properly scaling. Okay, so good to know about anchoring. Very important. So let's go back to our this one. We have a vertical layout. Let's put in the text mesh pro. Let's put that under here. And then let's also put in a input field. Ayan. Um, control control size. Do I want the, the width? Yes. In here, I can change the height. Maybe make this to 500. Make this smaller. I can do uh, expand. No, we can choose not to expand. So I can move the. I can do the spacing, padding. Oh no, spacing. Okay, and then we want the text to be at the bottom. So let's change this to 12, and then put it at the bottom. Okay, let's not do that. There. Okay. So here's our Text Mesh Pro. And then let's go create our um, text um, chat. Chat UI. Oh, someone has made that already. Chat system. Uh-huh. And then in here, we need to disable this canvas if they're not a player. I mean, sorry, it should be disabled right away. Then if they're the player who owns it, enable it. So we need to have a game object, um, canvas, chat canvas. We can make this a serialized field. So that's chat canvas. And then for the input field, I want to clear it each time I press enter. So using TMP Pro input field. TMP Pro dot input field. You can put it as a serialized field also. Ayan. This canvas. This is input field. And then the text where it's gonna go to. Serialized field. Text mesh pro u GUI. And then this is the chat. Chat text. And here we go. Okay. So uh on value change, that's a string. So let's do that. Public void in uh text change. String text. Input field dot text. Oh wait. If input dot get key down. I'm not sure if this is gonna work. Key code dot return. We do the uh input field. Saan nga pala to? Input field dot text is equal to null. And then we have added to the chat text. Now the thing is, uh, you need to have a action here. So what is this action? The action is so that you can send uh, when a player sends something, everyone gets updated. All the UI gets updated. Um, so the thing why RPC can't handle it by itself is because these things are disabled. So we need to have it um, updated. So I'll have a public static action of string um, chat uh, message on send message, and then make this a network behavior. I need to have the on authority um, override on start authority. So this one, if the player owns this, I will enable the chat canvas. And then the on send message, I will not invoke, but what do I do here? On send message, I will listen to it, and then what it will do is it will add into the chat text. So sorry. Uh, private void on message receive string message. So chat text dot text plus equals message. It will be on message receive. Okay. So this one text change, I want this to happen when they press enter on the value changed here. So what happens is on RPC, no, command. This is where I tell the server that a message has been sent. Uh, private void cmd send message string message. In here, you also have to validate some stuff, meaning um, you can add in maybe what's this, the slash n and stuff. So pwede din dito. So if you do the client RPC, private void RPC send message string message. This is where chat text dot invoke message dot invoke sorry dot not sorry not chat text on send message dot invoke message. So this one will be RPC send message I will put in the backslash n here. Backslash n and then message. Just so it's like a new line. Finally, this one. If is local player. If it is not the local player, return. Well, it's not gonna happen because naka-deactivate to in case, no? Dapat. Anyway, return uh, CMD send message text. Will this work? We shall find out. On start authority, set active true, send message. We are now listening to on send message. CMD will call RPC. The RPC send message will invoke the message. That's right. I think if this is correct. I'm not sure if it should be here. What on message receive, this is what's going to happen when uh, the message has been received. It'll add in the chat text. What? So what am I going to send here? Let's also do something here. Let's include the connection. Connection to server. Connection. Oops. Connection client. Sorry, sorry. This should be down here. As is na lang to. Text. Okay. Let's see if that works. If tama ba yung naisip ko. I forgot. Kailangan naka-clear tong prefab. There's text here. There. And then, okay, let's try it out. So that was a lot, no? That was a lot of stuff. But it's essentially the same thing, man. Hello world. Enter did not work. Probably because enter is really not supposed. No, no, sorry. I forgot to bind the this one here on value changed. I will bind player that system send message. No, text change. Text change. Okay, let's see. Let's see if this is work. We can also put a debug.log. Debug.log. Text change. We host. It's gonna it should do a lot of stuff here. Help. I press enter. Okay. Yeah. It did not get the enter. I'll just put this update na lang. Update. Chat text dot text. No, no, sorry, not chat text. Input. And then if it is not the local player, return. Play host hello world. Okay, help. Uh, that works. Well, let's see if it works also on the client. Host join. There are two event systems. There are two event systems. That means we should get rid of uh, this one. Host join. Wala naman yung ano. Okay. Hold on. Let's put an event system here. Event system. Let's see if that fixes it. Host. Nope. Nawala na yung ano. Nawala na yung canvas ko. I need event system here. But why are you showing so many errors? Host. Ah, no, 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 no. Sorry, sorry, sorry. Um, the scale with screen size. Very important, no? If you don't have the scale with screen size, it might not scale correctly. Hence, my thing is not correct. So, offline, host, join, hello, world. It is not getting the message. Hello. Kuha naman na dito. Help. Huh. Huh. What's missing? Input field dot text cmd send message is empty. Input field debug.log input field dot text. So we're almost there. Sorry. Right now what we're dealing with is why is this why is the message empty? Hello world. Okay, now it isn't empty. I join. Hi. Ah. The moment someone joins, the moment someone joins, the string is disappearing. Message is now blank. CMD input field dot text. It is not getting the input field anymore. basically. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, uh, this may be taking too much of our time. We are almost there, though. The thing is, the moment someone, the moment someone pops in, nawawalan na siya, no? But here, the moment I join, that's right, it is now gone. Yeah, that means so. What happened is somewhere between this on send message and uh no, yeah, somewhere there. Something is not sending. Next, how to add restrictions and ban people. Ah, that's frustrating. It was working before. I may be missing a line of code. But anyway, um, almost right. I will just update you na lang bakit hindi something. I think it's somewhere here. But sige, let's run through what happened. When the player presses enter, he sends a message to the server. That message is whatever's inside the input field, the text. And here, what happens in the server is it will send to everyone. It will send to everyone what the player just sent, which is the message here, and then wherever that uh, message is coming from, the connection ID. Okay. And what is this? What is inside RPC send message? Inside it is an invoke of on send message, meaning so action is like if you've done Gamprog 1 and 2 or Gamprog 1, it's event dispatchers. It is like trying to listen and trying to broadcast. If whatever is listening to ah whoever is listening to the action, if it invokes, it will react by doing whatever is placed here. In this case, on message received. So when this invokes, this happens, the on message received, which is this. Okay. So the thing is, I made it to static because everyone should be listening to it naman. That's why we're just doing plus equals. We are just adding into it now. So there's somewhere here where there's a mistake somewhere here. Pero it should be right. I'll let you guys know what was wrong after this. But yeah, again, we're still working with command and client RPC. Okay, questions, clarification. Nangyari? Extension of message. Anyway, none. Sige. If there are no questions or clarification, um, for your for your first Dropbox, the two for your first Dropbox, I did move it to 21. Yeah. For here, you're gonna go create, well, at least start off a project that you want to work on. And what kind of project it is? It could be any theme, any genre that you like, whether it be um first person shooter, whether it be uh platformer, whether it be a simple pong or whatnot, anything that you like, something that will make you want to work on this. Okay. Yun yung problema eh. Pong with chat? Sure. Pwede naman. Hello? Sorry. Nawala ako. Sure, Pong with chat, but don't copy kasi Mirror also has naman eh. Well, if you checked, Mirror also has the example for that. So, Pong. So, ayun. This is like individual. This is just individual naman. What I'm gonna be looking for lang naman is itong how to host, how to join. I'm gonna be looking at your yung movement, whether it be network, rigid body, or maybe your own. No, you could do that. And what I'm gonna be looking for is some command and client RPC code. Okay, I just wanna see how you're using this command and client RPC. Maybe there is a way that maybe I can give uh, a feedback that maybe like you don't have to do this or you could just do this for just client mga ganun. So just do something that you like. You don't have to make the whole game, no. You can just start it off muna. Yeah, I don't need to have like fleshed out mechanics, fleshed out whatever. Di naman. Kahit yung very start pa lang. Yung mga yung simple lang. Maybe just chat. If not chat, maybe just when scoring happens. 5v5 pong with team chat. How does that work? 3D. 3D pong. 5v5 3D pong with team chat. Tapos, restrict yung chat messages. Kailangan dapat asterisk yung mga ano, yung mga profanities. Joke lang. But yeah, anything that you like. I'm not gonna be strict naman with whatever game or you have, no. You can just all I need to see is you being able to use yung command and client RPC. How about does the Pong match get mababat ko tayo sa chat censorship? Competitive. Okay? Questions? Clarification on this? I'm gonna update naman yung ano, yung folder nito. I'm gonna put the right text for this. But you have 2 weeks naman. You have 2 weeks to do this. It doesn't have to again, doesn't have to be a huge game. If you want, let's say let's say FPS. When you shoot someone, it gets updated to the server, everyone gets updated with the score, yung lalabas sa UI mo, right? Or let's go with um ano pa ba? Not Pong. What's another shooter? What other games can I think of? Platforming. If you want some platforming, whoever falls down sends it to the server uh that they fell, their stocks or their lives decrease. Yung mga ganun. I'm not looking for a big game. I'm just looking for you being able to use it. And I want it to be something that you feel like working with it. Right? Okay? Questions? Clarification? Any concern? None? Okay. Sige. If there are no any questions or concerns, um, yeah, that's consultations if feature is okay. Yeah, sure. Again, we're not look. I'm not looking for big features. But you can consult if maybe you want to ask, should you be sending this to the server? Uh, should I be updating everyone on the client? Sure, you can ask that. Anyone. Will we ever have to work not individual in the future? Huh. I'm still thinking about that. I'm still thinking about that for your finals. Medyo split ako with it, Lynn, eh, if I want you guys to work together. I mean, it's gonna be easier also for you guys because you'll be two. Problem is, what if your partner doesn't do anything? Make it your choice. Yeah, pwede rin. To team up or not. Yeah, yeah, we could do that. We could do that. Make it up to you guys na now. You just have to let me know so that when I grade you guys, I don't accidentally miss someone na biglang wala pala silang grade. Yung pala dahil group meet sila with someone else. Yeah, 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 yeah. I don't, I don't want you to randomize it in the one. But that's like finals. We're talking about finals here. Not we're not looking anytime near in we're still October. Wala pa tayo sa November. Okay. Um, so that's very in the future pa. Okay? Any more questions? None? Okay. Sige. If there are no questions, I will just message you again what is wrong with with this code. But yeah. If there are no questions, that's it for today. You guys can go enjoy the remaining of your night and uh stay safe. Bye bye, bye bye.